I'm going to show you how to do a working class gourmet's version of grilled chicken with mushrooms and Gouda cheese. Believe it or not, this is a fairly inexpensive preparation. I'm using 2 halves of a chicken breast. This is actually 1 whole chicken breast. It's about 1 pound in weight, and it's enough food for about 4 to 5 people. I'm going to start with olive oil, a few tablespoons of olive oil, to which I'm going to add about 1 teaspoon of dried thyme, a couple of twists of black pepper. This is an actual mixed pepper blend. I'm going to take 2 cloves of garlic, and I'm going to mince them and add them to the olive oil mixture, along with about a couple of pinches of salt. Basically, that's it for the marinade. I have taken the chicken breast. I have 1 whole breast. I've removed the chicken tenders, put them to the side, and removed the little gristle that's in the center of the tender. And then I'm going to take each chicken breast half and I'm going to cut it into thirds. After I cut into thirds, I'm going to lay them out onto my cutting surface. I'm going to completely cover them with a piece of plastic wrap, and then I'm going to take a meat mallet and I'm going to pound the breast into about a 1/2 inch, 1/3 to a 1/2 inch size cutlet. This is also known as scallopini. If you can notice, there is a lot of meat here. Okay, done. At this point, I'm going to place the pounded cutlets into the marinade, and I'm going to let the chicken marinate for about 1/2 hour. I'm going to start the mushrooms for the chicken dish by setting a saute pan over a low flame, and then I'm going to start to cut the mushrooms. First, I'm going to cut off the stem as close to the cap as possible, and I'll do that with all the mushrooms. After I cut the cap off, I'm going to cut the mushrooms into quarters and place them directly into the pan, which is heating up. Okay, so what we have right now is we have a heated pan and we have mushrooms that have been cut into quarters, placed directly into the hot pan. And as you can see, it's dry. And so the hot pan is actually drawing out moisture from the mushrooms. I like using this method of sauteing because I like the end result. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in a couple of tablespoons of unsalted butter and about 1 tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. And I'm going to let that mixture melt. Okay, my butter and my olive oil are just starting to brown, and it's completely melted. So at this point in time, I'm going to add a whole chopped shallot and a clove of garlic that has been minced. Then I'm going to now coat the mushrooms evenly in the oil and butter mixture. And this is the start of the saute process. We have the flame up to about a medium level, and we're going to start sauteing. You can hear the sound of the butter, the fat, and the mushrooms cooking in the fat. This is what we want. We want an even coat of fat and oil. I'm going to continue to saute the mushrooms for about 4 minutes, at which time I'm going to add a little bit of wine. To the sauteing mushrooms, I'm going to add a pinch of thyme, dried thyme, same thyme that we used in the marinade for the chicken. And while the mushrooms are finishing the saute process, I'm going to take a piece of aged Gouda cheese. This is about 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces of Gouda cheese. That's all that you need. You don't need more than that. And I'm going to grate it on the coarse side of a grater. And what we have here is a handful of grated cheese, which we are going to use to top off these beautiful mushrooms after we add the wine. You'll see that in a minute. See how nice the mushrooms are browning? This is because I heated the pan ahead of time, added the mushrooms first, and then dry sauteed them, then added the oil and the butter. This gives a different effect. I think it's easier to caramelize them when you use that method. Now you can hear the mushrooms sizzling, and they look nicely browned. At this point, I'm just going to add a little splash of the rosé wine that I'm serving with the meal. I'm going to top off the mushrooms with the grated Gouda cheese. And I'm going to finish it off by placing it into an oven. Right now I have a 400-degree oven. I'll put it in the oven for about 5 minutes. While my mushrooms are in the oven, I'm going to paint a grill pan with a thin layer of olive oil, and I'm going to heat it up to about 280 degrees. My mushrooms are almost done. It's only been a few minutes, but I only want to cook the mushrooms with the cheese until the cheese melts. I don't really want to burn the cheese. So I'm going to take them out of the oven, and I'm going to wait for the chicken to finish grilling and then place the chicken into the oven where the mushrooms were. Okay, my pan is sufficiently hot, and I'm going to place the chicken breast onto the grill pan in a single layer. I'm going to leave the pieces of chicken undisturbed for about 5 to 8 minutes so that they will score nicely. You get those nice even marks on the breast. There you go. Okay, we have a nice mark on our breast. And now I'm going to place it in the oven to finish cooking for about 10 to 15 more minutes. I've just finished cooking blue Lake green beans in boiling water for about 2 minutes. I'm going to strain them off. I'm adding a tablespoon of butter, unsalted butter, to the carrots and some honey mustard. If you don't have honey mustard, you can mix honey and mustard. Use Dijon mustard. I just happen to have a container of honey mustard. So that's how we finish off the carrots. They're done. Okay, to start, I'm going to take the carrots and I'm going to place a ring along the outside of the plate. On top of the carrot, I'm going to place the green beans, and those will cover the center of the plate. Now we have our mushroom mixture with the Gouda cheese. I'm going to take some of the mushroom mixture and carefully place it on top of the green beans. After that, I will take a couple of pieces of the chicken, place that on top of the mushrooms, and there you have it. As an afterthought, I had purple yams. You can see right here the Japanese purple yam, which is yellow on the inside, and what I did was I baked them and then I mashed them with a little butter. And we have a little bit of a side dish here, an added carb, if you will, which is the Japanese yam.